Hey you guys, welcome back. This is Richard Sachs, and this is the YouTube version, the Safestream version of Lost Arts Radio Live, the main one of which will be happening in 25 minutes from now on the platforms where that's still feasible for us to do. And, you know, the whole idea of this was I didn't want to lose connection with all of our thousands of subscribers and people who watch the show, if possible. And I thought, okay, what can I say that will make YouTube really happy and not want to kick us off, and yet say something, because most of it can become, questionable when they really want to get rid of you. So I thought for today, when the main live show on other platforms is going to be about a lot of interesting things, but it's going to get into common sense and how that is stronger than some things that I can't mention here, and how the innate abilities and perception and power that you guys have as normal human beings that aren't unconscious and turned into zombies like we've all been trained to be, that your normal state is very powerful, and it's capable of fixing a lot of things that look like they can't be fixed in the world anymore. And I think it's still possible to do that. So thinking about what I can say about common sense that is safe to say on this particular version of the show, for both the viewers that are, most of which watch the recorded version, and then also for the few of you that were nice enough to show up live, and also for the monitors there are still some human monitors. It's a lot algorithms and computers that watch to make sure that all of our points of view are approved. But there's some humans too. And if you're working for the system that is trying to get rid of unacceptable points of view, you could use your common sense to decide whether that's really a good thing to do, because there may be some really important things that you're instructed to screen out that you need to think twice about, just for your own well-being, your own perception, your own consciousness, and feeling good about what you're doing for money. I think that's really important. And if you can, even if you're in a difficult position with a big corporate environment that tells you, okay, you need to block these points of view, it's really important that nobody hears them because, and then they give them some label. You have to decide what's ethical from your point of view. And I think I'm allowed to say that much about that. We're told a lot of things about science these days, and real science is great, and it's very powerful, and it's very perceptive, and it's based on the idea of just wanting to know whatever's true. Not what we're told to memorize, but what's actually true. And they're not always the same thing, as you may have noticed. When things that aren't true are sold as science, then it's up to your perception to tell the difference. And even if somebody wears a suit and tie and they talk down to you with a very condescending tone, and they have 4 PhDs and they've won all these prizes and everything, that's not the same as telling the truth. They might tell the truth, even with all those credentials, and they might not. And can you tell the difference, and how would you? A lot of it is what used to be called common sense, and it's not one of the favorite topics of education these days, to say it mildly. We're taught that common sense is unscientific, it's subjective, it's not reliable, not very valuable, and just get rid of it and memorize what's acceptable. And then you end up going along with your own can't really tell you in detail, but going along with things that are not good for you or good for anything else. So it's really worth getting that real common sense back. It's going to be very important in the times that we're rapidly heading into. It also tells you how to take care of your health. So if there's somebody with great credentials, with an opinion that is acceptable and doesn't get blocked, they might be telling the truth. That's true. But that is not guaranteed by whatever organization they belong to. That's probably more than I can say on that anyway. But you know what I'm talking about. It all comes down to you, because even if you go to a wonderful expert, a wonderful scientist, a wonderful doctor, you're the one who has the responsibility for your own well-being and to do things that are beneficial for yourself and other people at the same time. And if you pay attention to that, instead of the usual thing to just, well, whatever pays money, like in Ghostbusters, the original one, Winston Zeddemore was saying, if there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you say. That was a joke at the time, right? It's not a joke right now, because for a steady paycheck or a big commission or special perks or things like that to people in government, they are believing anything they're told. And it's a pretty dangerous road to go down. And you want to make sure that you don't go that way too, because the whole point of being here is to wake up while you're still here and do something good, even if it goes against what you're told to memorize. The world, even at this late stage in the game, could still be healed. I could be wrong, but I think so. It looks like it could to me. And you're one of the key people to help that happen. It looks like you're not affecting anybody, but that's not the case. And we've talked about some things in quantum physics before. And there's this thing called quantum entanglement or other things like that. And part of what it means is that everybody affects everybody else. That means you affect everybody else. And if your intent and your thought and your focus gets really organized and coherent, you affect everybody else orders of magnitude more strongly. You can do that right now, and it doesn't cost any money. You don't have to go anywhere. It works whether anybody sees you or whatever happens. And then you develop common sense. And if you look at yourself and do a self-assessment instead of condemning everybody else, see where you can get your common sense back, and it'll help take care of you and tell you, oh, this is not a good idea, even though such and such expert says you have to do it. You're the one who has to know. So that's the essence of the amount that I can say with some safety in this version, where 95% of what will be in the live show is actually cut out so that we don't upset the people that would delete everything that we're putting up right now. Because I don't want to lose touch with you. And we've seen from the past that subscribers on a channel, most of them will just assume, well, we have no idea where they went. It's all gone now. I guess they just stopped making videos, and I guess they took down everything they made. And that's usually not the case. Somebody else did it. So I want to keep this connection going for a while, as long as we can, without getting deleted. Still get something of value to you, and remind you that everything that's not safe for you to see, that might actually have unapproved ideas, that the powers that be decided that you don't really have the discretion to decide what's true and what isn't. So they do what the head of Apple say is curated, a curated platform. And he was talking about Apple, but it applies to all the major social media channels, where they decide what you shouldn't see, and they remove it for your convenience and safety. So we're doing it for them on this particular platform and leaving as much value in it as we can. But there's a link that we have warned you many times not to look at below the video, and you'll see the part there at that link. Of course, you're not going to go to it, but if you did, you would see the part of the shows that aren't approved. And we have to tell you that they aren't approved by any prominent agencies, federal or international or state or local. So if you know not to look at those links, then you can save yourself the trauma of seeing ideas that might give you some varying points of view. So now that you know not to look at those to keep safe, that's the main message. And remember, though, that if you do want to see all the less approved places where the whole show that we put out is still live streamed and recorded, go to lostartsradio.com and you can keep up with us there. In fact, I would recommend to do that right away. It doesn't cost any money. It's available. It takes you about 10 seconds if you know how to go to a website. And you can always stay in touch with where we're still broadcasting, even if we're deleted from other places that you're used to. And in case you get brave enough to see the full version of a show, then you can go there as well, and I'll meet you there. So that's the main thing. I'd like to get your feedback, what you would like to see us talk about in the future. We cover everything about what's happening in the world and about taking care of yourself, your own well-being and health and consciousness and all those things, and what we can do to contribute to better outcome in the world, which I think is one of the more important topics that we can look at right now. And the reason we take the time to come to this separate show and do a few minutes extra every week is that personally I think that you're an incredibly important character in this movie that we're all in, this sci-fi movie. And in a very real sense, you individually are the star of it. And everything that you decide to think and say and do is really making a big difference. So why not take full advantage of that? Learn how to maximize it. Join us sometime at Planetary Healing Club if you want to, and share the show so it does get out to other people. And let them know the more dangerous links that if they want to be safe, they won't go to anyway, but just to safeguard other people from those. And let them know about lostartsradio.com. And then maybe one of these days we'll see you at one of those other sites if you go there by mistake, or at planetaryhealingclub.com. And I just really appreciate your being here. I want you to take care of yourself, learn what you can do to make that happen, because you're not as helpless and dependent as you were being told. Teams of experts may not always know best, but under the surface, you get rid of all the programming and you'll know what to do. So stay in touch with us. There's contact forms at the website, lostartsradio.com. And we have a Sunday show that is on every week with inspiring people and organizations that you might want to know about, people you can be in touch with. And I think it's really important when all the things that are happening right now are going on that we support each other. And I invite you to, give support to everybody, even the people that are, deleting important content and trying to shut down sites and stuff like that. They need help too. And there are ways that you can help everybody, even the ones you can't talk to. All the people doing bad things are victims themselves now. And it's not too late for them to change if they want to. You guys, you know who I'm talking to, and you're invited. I don't see you as enemies, just imaginary enemies and friends underneath. So take advantage of that. There are things you can do. You're not too far gone. And for all of you, meet us at Planetary Healing Club sometime and check it out at the website. Lots of interesting stuff there. A lot of interesting videos and articles and places to go where we're live streaming in more complete form. So thanks for being here. Take care of yourself. I hope you have a really good week. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow at the Sunday show, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern. And remember, what you do really matters. And we'll see you here next time. Thanks for coming.